Well, here we are, end of February in Fox Creek, Alberta, a small town. I always call it my little town. I don't really call it Fox Creek, but that's what it's called. And being a man who's coming out of the closet type of thing, I guess I shouldn't use that phrase because I heard that it's attributed to gay people. Well, being a man who doesn't really care to keep a low profile anymore, because I don't want to crawl under a rock and die, you know, and I'm not going to. I'm going to tell the world and all those filthy, corrupt banksters and people who worship money that this is where I live. Because really, you know, if you want to find me, you can always track me down anyway and kill me, like so many of you elite people do. Of course, you always hire someone else to do your dirty work, you know, pay a dog, you know, to do your dirty work because you're too much a pig to do the job yourself. Yeah, I know how it goes. 1984 is a reality, people. 1984 is a reality that's come and gone, and we're moving on to a different system now. George Orwell, that's not his real name, by the way, I used to know his real name, wrote a fantastic book called 1984, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. What a lovely day, blue sky. We actually have some blue sky today, and I'm making my way to the local supermarket. Well, that's what they used to call it, a supermarket, you know. Boy, those who invented that word. I wonder what they would have thought if they saw something like, you know, Walmart or Canadian Superstore. Now those are supermarkets. Those are mega markets. Anyway, I digress, as I usually do. One of my chief problems, I guess, digression. I'm on my way to the local IGA to return a bunch of items that exclusively, I would say, are the property of IGA. And the wife discovered them in the garbage dumpster, or on the garbage dumpster rather, sitting right on the lid. And we suspect that you know, they should be returned, and so they will be returned. They shall be returned, and because they're not our property, but then rightfully they should be returned to that place. You know, when I find people's property, I tend to return it if I can identify the owner, even if there is value in that item that I could possibly use. It is honest to return it. And you know, living here in this little town, I've found people's paychecks and return them, you know, because wow, that's their bread and butter, you know. Some pretty sizable paychecks too, I have to admit. Some of these oil people make good money. But I don't think I ever mentioned this, but I did janitorial for 3 years while I lived in this town. And well, actually more than 3 years, but you know, bits and bites after, not, you know, steady full-time work after I left my original janitorial job. That job, some days or sometimes I would work 36 days straight without a single day off. You know, because they had nobody else. And so, well, there it is. You know, that's the kind of dedication that I gave to my job. You see, that's my point. You know, when I was a younger man, I don't think people really understand that. You know, I know that my relatives have some really bizarre notions about me, and well, I guess that's what comes with keeping a low profile. You know, if you don't tell them, they invent tales about you. They don't really know you, and you know that's the way it is with people anyway. They talk about others, but they don't really know them. So, I guess my point that I'm getting at is, you know, even though it bothers me that I am not an employee generating X number of fiat funny money units, loonies and toonies, because we do indeed have a loony-toony economy here in Canada, a loony-toony economy. Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it, really? And the higher-ups know it. They wouldn't choose terminology like that for currency if they didn't also agree that our economy is a joke. And the joke's on us, you know. And the banksters know it. But yeah, this property consists of a number of clothing items, uniform chiefly, because when you work at this establishment, you have to wear the appropriate uniform. And all these uniforms just sitting, you know, in a pile on top of the garbage dumpster, like on top the lid, you know. I wanted to return them. It's not our property, and you know, I don't think the garbage dumpster is any place for them. You know, perhaps maybe they could get them laundered and use them as backups for maybe new people who can't really afford uniforms when they start working there, you know what I mean? But in the garbage, no, these are quality clothing. I checked it out. I'm familiar with this clothing, okay? And no, you know, this is a good establishment, by the way. IGA here in Fox Creek is a good establishment. Okay, it's been here decades now and served our community for decades and given young people and old, you know, the opportunity to work, and so yeah, I salute Mr. Friesen for what he's done here in our small community, you know, and I had some misgivings about Mr. Friesen in the early days, but actually my quarrel was more with a certain co-worker than anyone else regarding that establishment, and so in retrospect I kind of feel bad, you know, about leaving that establishment, because in truth they're good to me, you know. I mean, they gave me a good job, and when I first came to Fox Creek here, you know, because I came in faith, you know, that's the thing. You know, you go in faith. Well, some of us go in faith. Some of us have no faith. Hi. There we are. Look at that. Oh, those trees are taken out. See that? That's the trees they're taking out. Pulling out all the trees. Totally expand. It's amazing how this town is expanding. That's where the trees came out, and they're just pulling them out of here. I don't know why my camera is, I must have bumped something on my camera. But yeah, I don't know, it's a couple of guys here that they don't like. I talked to a couple of guys and they don't like all this, these trees being tore out. You know, I understand their feeling, because we need our trees, and many of us, we've grown to love, you know, being nestled right in the forest, you know, smack dab in the forest, you know, surrounded by trees. And now so many of the trees are just disappearing, but you can't stand in the way of progress. People need jobs, people need livelihood. That's why I mentioned before that I salute Mr. Frieson, Frieson IGA, because he gave me a job when I came to Fox Creek in faith, you know, that God would provide. Get my children out of the hellhole called the city, where at the time I wanted something better for my children. I don't know why my camera keeps going on standby. I hope this is all one link, but if not, oh well. We'll try to save the footage and splice it all together. But yeah, it is sad. Look, I'll show you here how much is left of our trees here. Look at that. Just a few sparse stands. They're just taking out all our trees, you know. But yes, we can't stand in the way of progress. I just hope that we know what we're doing. I don't want to see it get out of hand. Who does, you know? But yeah, people need jobs, people need to work, and people need resources. I don't deny that. So there it is. It's amazing, this weather. I can't believe it. Are you ready for this? I'm going to tell you, folks, it is 5 above. I said 5 above. 5 degrees Celsius above zero, and I'm just sweating in this coat. It's just amazing, you know, and I get myself a nice brand new winter coat, and look at this. I don't even need it. So, I'm wearing a Stetson hat right now. That's how warm it is. And I've got my toque stuffed in my side pocket. I'm wearing a Stetson hat because it's that warm. It's that warm. It's just amazing how warm it is outside. This is not typical weather. I have a feeling we're going to be paying for it in April. So mark that, and we'll see what happens in the month of April. God bless you. Thank you for